But as I'm sure you're aware, and I definitely wanted to talk to you about this week, Kiera Bell won her
Right.
case against the Tavistock.
Yes.
And
Yes.
obviously, I mean, I had a day of it. That day on Twitter, I had pile-on after pile-on of angry kids with confusing
Totally.
pronouns telling me how old and bald I am, as if I don't have a fucking mirror in my house, you know? And I love, sometimes I let them
Right.
carry on for a bit because we've all been young
Yeah,
and we all like to think we're giving
that's
someone a
right.
good talking to.
That's right.
So I do let that happen for a while. But when Kiera Bell won that case, I don't think a lot of people online realize the ramifications of
That's
what
right.
happened that day.
That's right.
When it comes to children and transitioning, where do you stand on that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a heavy conversation, friend. Now I'm going to be straight up front here. I do believe there are trans kids, 100%, because I think I was a trans kid. But so moving from that space, most definitely there are trans children. But what I have a problem with is the medicalization of trans kids that young. Like I'm talking, 8, 9, 10, even 16 still seems a little young to me. But at 16, you're kind of still getting your brain, and you have a little bit more substance. You don't have that substance as a 10-year-old or an 8-year-old. So I will be straight up honest with you. I am not about medicalization of youngsters. I think we don't have enough research. On some level, we're using them as an experiment. I think many of these kids are going to wake up when they're old enough to be on their own and go, what the hell just happened? And why did my parents make that choice for me? So that's a really damaging space to get. Once you start doing those transitioning things with hormone blockers, doesn't anybody understand the most important part of becoming a human being is puberty? You're literally going from a child to an adult, and these things are so important for the growth of our brain, for the growth of our body, even for the growth of our genitals. And so I just read something where it said that if you start taking hormone blockers at a young age from a male to female, so a little boy who wants to become a little girl, it will actually make their penis not grow enough that they will not be able to have bottom surgery because they stunted the growth of their penis.
Do you know how I know that's
So
true?
yeah,
The
how?
woman, I've forgotten her name, which many people will be screaming it at me now. The woman from Mermaids,
Oh
who
yeah, I don't know her
got
name either, but who cares? Don't
she got
say her name. Don't say
no,
her name.
she got her kid, she got her kid on puberty blockers. Then took the child to Thailand at 16 to have genital surgery because you
Bottom
can't.
surgery.
Yeah, you can't do it in this country. No.
No, you
To
can't.
Thailand, and
No.
then she gave TED talks, and she recalled laughing, jolly in a very jolly manner, how he wasn't really big enough to turn inside out because of the blockers and things. And it's like you're laughing about this.
That just actually made me feel like crying. That
Well,
actually made me feel really,
it's child
wow.
abuse.
It's such child abuse. How dare somebody say something like, how dare, I don't know what's happening out there, but I'm telling you, you know that I do speak up against it because I'm an elder and I have a lived experience in this space. And when people come and attack me that I don't know, go fuck yourself. I have been in this community, which I hate, for a long time, and I have seen a lot of stuff. And I'm telling you today, something's happening that is not normal on some level. We have way too many youngsters. No, I don't have a problem with youngsters claiming trans, non-binary, all of that. That's social transitioning. They're not taking hormones. They're not all of that. Go for it, my friend. Be whatever you need to be. But when you start adding testosterone, hormone blocker, surgery, everything that is so detrimental to how you are. If I cut off my breasts at 16, how am I going to get those breasts back when I decide that maybe I'm not really trans, which is what Kiera Bell did. So it's not like we're talking out of our asses, and it's not like it's not real. But every day I see a new detransitioner, as well as you probably do.
Well, that's
So
the thing,
if you
isn't it?
notice,
The TRAs
that is.
the TRAs are claiming it's a 1%. I
Nope.
looked into this. There is no data available. And that was
That's
one of the
right.
problems at the Kiera Bell case. You know, when the TRAs
That's right.
say only 1% detransition,
Not
puberty
true.
blockers are fully reversible.
It's not true.
No, of course it's not true. And
No.
why didn't the Tavistock present that evidence? Why don't they record detransition rates? Of course they lost. Now you've got a bigger problem because Joe Moore, that lawyer that beat foxes to death with a baseball bat, lovely man, lovely man. He's just a piece of shit. He's getting involved now and saying we want to look at international standards and we want to appeal. And I guarantee they'll want to base it on Canada, where kids are being taken off their parents and medicated.
That's right.
Children.
That's right. Children. I have an 8-year-old, my friend. If anyone ever tried to take my kid away from me, they never saw all hell break loose. I'm telling you. What are we doing? You cannot take kids away from parents. Above and beyond anything else, that connection to your parents is so goddamn important. It's a real thing. It's an actual, to take a child away from a parent because you think that you are doing, why do you think you're doing the better job than the parent? Right? What gives you the right to say that I'm not raising my child the right way because I'm questioning whether or not they're actually trans at 8 years old? And you are not a good parent if you don't question that. You are not a good parent if you don't question anything at 8 years old.
Have you seen them on Reddit? The moms on Reddit? My 2-year-old plays with us. I think, and now it's she. It was a boy. I think she's trans. It's like, what are you talking about? No.
Yeah.
It might be nothing. Maybe your child will grow up to be gay or straight or just ordinary. Stop. Let them grow up. Be there for them.
That's right.
But don't start talking about transitioning them, for fuck's sake, because I don't. My knowledge of transitioning, the only thing I can imagine for people that are genuinely trans is it must be an incredibly painful and difficult time. You're in turmoil. You can only be happy if you live in a different way. You've got to make massive changes. Why would you push your child into that?
Doesn't make sense to me. That's why I'm looking at it. I'm not just some player on the side. I literally went through this whole situation. I had an amazing childhood. I did not have a bad childhood. I didn't, my parents treated me like a boy. I was just that little tomboy, but I had an awesome childhood. It wasn't until puberty. So that's why I understand the puberty thing. I get it. It's not fun growing boobs. It's not fun getting your period. Women don't even like that. So that being said, it's a transitional period that's happening. So we're not having this conversation to these youngsters who are claiming trans. Again, we need to have this conversation. That's why we don't do sex ed. We don't talk about puberty. We don't talk about any of the things that are happening in a normal way. So when a child is like, oh my God, I think I'm a dude because I hate these boobs and I can't stand being that's just maybe a societal thing that could be happening. And that's why I believe in mental health care. If we're not even sending these kids to mental health care, when you have something that's called self-ID, what is that? That seems so insane to me. Like, so insane that you let a 13-year-old self-ID tell his parents to go screw yourself. I'm going to take hormones, and the parents have no say-so. I've never seen it's going to kill us. It's going to kill the trans community. I'm telling you, it's the worst thing that could ever be happening to us. Ever.
I've often said at the end of this, because the pendulum always swings back and forth.
That's right.
The victims will be transsexuals and women. Because us men will be okay. We're fine. We don't care who pisses next to us. And the activists will just fucking slope away.
That's right. You're so right, my friend.
They'll leave you all behind, lying in the fucking dirt, and they won't care. And the funny thing is, I'm not going to mention, I know there's a couple of, again, I don't belong to anyone's fucking group. I'm not even gender.
Neither do I.
I'm not even gender critical because I don't give a fuck what people do or call themselves. I'm anti-bullying. I'm anti-harassment. I'm anti those things. And I know there's groups that would be considered genuine hate groups to us transphobes, and they've made me party to conversations they are actively having of how do we support transsexuals when this finally does turn around. They're not looking at how to bury you. It's how to support you,
That's what I know. Look, dude, I have so many friends like you, my friend. I don't have a ton of trans friends. Most of my family, my friends, everyone is cisgender, is all just out there. I don't live in this bubble of trans. They've created this. I've been a transition for 25 plus years. I have an amazing life. How come I didn't have any of that? I got bullied as a kid. I got all of that shit. We all do. Not only trans people get bullied, lots of people get bullied, and everyone deals with it, and sexuality, gender, whatever you're dealing with, body stuff. They're acting as if trans people are the only marginalized people in the whole space. I made it out alive, and I celebrate my life, and I want people out there in the world to see how awesome it is what I did. When you see people like that, people hate trans people because they're being trans people are insanely angry, biting at people, I'm going to kill you, whipping out their penis, showing. Like, who does that? I've never done that. Never, ever. That's not how you make change. You make change by connecting.
Yeah. It's not a way to make friends. I suppose under some circumstances it could be, but in general, I don't think it's the best way of winning people over.
Nope.
I believe a lot of it. It's this. I mean, we've got a whole generation of people brought up by the end of the sort of the boomers, who had kids, and they've never been told no. They've never been told no. I demand you call me this. No. Oh, then you hate trans people. It's like, I don't hate trans people. You must do, because you won't respect my pronouns. It's like, I won't respect your pronouns because I think you are a fucking asshole, regardless of being trans. Your gender is not my problem. And it's but I'm marginalized. It's like, dude, you're a 6'3" dude harassing people on the internet, threatening to smash people's heads in. You're not marginalized.
Yeah, it's so sad. Wow, where did that come? Where did this new generation of trans women who are so hateful and mean? That's why I'm telling you, they're different than the trans women I hang out with. The trans women I know are respectful, want to educate, aren't that way, don't push against biological women, don't take up space. They want to coexist, and those are the trans women I know. They're like me.
Well,
and so I don't know who those trans women are. Yeah, that is the idea.
Just that you go through life in society as who you are. End of.
That's right.
Go do it.
Done.
I don't walk around demanding people acknowledge the fact that I'm a heterosexual male. and then one setting, what if I use the wrong pronouns for you? I couldn't give a flying fuck. What makes you think I care what you say or think about?
That's right.
Everyone's the center of the universe now. This is the problem we've got.